Hello, my name is Mary.
My name is Christine.
And we are sisters. And together we co-host the weekly podcast, Dawson Cries. My sister lives in D.C. and I live in New York. But,
we love each other.
emotionally, we are very close, even though physically we are not that close. So we try to keep in touch as much as we can, but, you know, the SHIT is hitting the fan all the time lately, and things are getting a little heavy. And we wanted to talk about something that was a little bit lighter than which anonymous source is going to out you this week. And we decided to start this podcast because Dawson's Creek is a show that neither of us have ever seen. And the only thing either of us knew about it was that Dawson's a little crybaby.
Aww.
And we wanted to figure out why. So we like to say that Dawson cries so we don't have to. We're here in season 3, and it's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Hey listeners, welcome to this episode. And as referenced in the title, there is a big dinner, and it's going to be Thanksgiving dinner, which, if you're listening as we're recording, it's now September, which means some people think it's officially fall. We've got a little bit of time left before fall, and it's hot as hell, so it really doesn't feel like fall yet. But, you know, Mary, this just reminded me of, like, simpler times when people are like, oh, it's autumn, let's get our pumpkin spice latte, and that was like the big dramatic thing of the moment. Like, ew, you like those? Yeah, we have a lot bigger fish to fry these days than what kind of coffee drink you want to buy. But it's going to be Thanksgiving. Pacey and Jen are hooking up, but not that way. They're just hanging out at the grocery store, shopping for...
As friends do.
As friends do, not...
As F buddies do.
Yeah, like... I don't know, frozen food aisle friends, not friends with benefits. So they are, they're shopping for Grams's big potluck Thanksgiving misfit dinner. And their sex life is just not only interrupted by, you know, walking the aisles with the cart, but it seems that Jen just can't get over how amused she is at Pacey's poor attempts at foreplay, which I thought super hilarious.
Yeah,
it is funny. I was like, Jen would laugh.
You could imagine Pacey being very serious.
Yeah, I know. But it's funny because he's so, like, goofy other times. So...
But also, like, she hooked up with Dawson, and Dawson was definitely strictly into foreplay, so...
You can't get past... There's nothing past foreplay with Dawson.
There's nothing past. What comes before a virgin?
Yeah, that's Dawson Leary.
Yeah, to a T.
Oh, my God. So... Yeah, they try to, like, have a little hot and heavy moment right there in the store. And it seems like Pacey loves the way Jen smells, and that just kind of sets her off, and she's giggling. And it just kills the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever become the F buddies that they are dreaming of becoming, or they just become, like, real buddies. In the meantime, Dawson is... at home, and Mitch is watching football like most dads do over Thanksgiving because we're being real stereotypical this episode. And Gail, like every good woman should, is cooking in the kitchen. She's baking a pie. There's a lot of women baking pies this episode. Yeah. Oh, my word.
But Gail is also apartment hunting and staying in the guest room.
True, so that adds a little layer, because when they introduce it, they don't give that away right away, and you're like, oh, what's this? Dawson seems like, oh, I got both my parents at home.
He's always like, what are we? Are we a family?
Oh,
are you still my mother?
Dawson was like off the chain with that this week.
Yeah, he wants definitions for relationships he's not even in. He's trying to label everyone else's relationships.
He really is. He's like controlling with
he's
that.
He's heavy into labels. Yeah.
Oh, gotta love Dawson though.
Gotta love the But like, Mitch is watching the football game and he's like talking to himself in there, cheering all by his lonesome. It seems a bit performative because there's no one in there enjoying it with you. I was like, Dawson, come watch with me. And Dawson's just like, I want to know what we are.
Dawson's like, he's like, is it Close Encounters of the Third Kind? No, I'm not interested.
And then Mitch is like trying to steal the pies because he's like a selfish 10-year-old.
Right? I know.
And Dawson's just like, what's going on? Why do I suddenly feel like I'm stuck in an episode of The Waltons?
That was strange. I was like, do you, Dawson? No one's saying good night, so.
Good night, John Boy.
Oh, John Boy, yeah.
It's the only one I remember.
I forgot about that.
I used to watch that show a lot, and I have no clue what it was about.
John Boy was kind of hot, I remember.
He was the
you
hot
could get
one,
it,
yeah. Yeah, get it, John Boy.
Yeah, I just remember
God.
it was kind of like Seventh Heaven, but like more out in the wilderness. I don't know.
Yeah, and probably even more corny.
Maybe this will be our next
Listeners-
podcast, Mare.
Oh, no, not the Waltons. Listeners, I apologize. I'm sick, so I'm a little sniffly, and my voice probably sounds a little weird.
Well, I won't be mean. I was going to say your voice always sounds weird, but no, it doesn't.
What?
Just kidding, it doesn't.
You were going to say that?
Oh, just to be mean, but then I changed my mind.
You know that's my biggest insecurity.
I know, and that's, I don't mean it.
But you still said it, so that was mean.
I'm sorry, Mary.
Now you're on my shit list forever.
Oh, fuck.
That's what happens when people make fun of my voice. Bad list forever.
But I'm your sister, I'm special.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Jen walks into Grams' kitchen with the groceries, and she's got some good news for Grams. Sam from the deli is sending her his sexy regards.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Hot.
Grams can't even be comforted by a little flirtation. She's freaking out about this Thanksgiving dinner. She's so on edge, and Jen's just like, take a chill pill. Eventually, she makes her way up the stairs, opens the door, and who's inside but Jen's mom?
Bombshell.
Yep.
Wow. Jen's mom looks a lot like Grams, I have to say. Like a younger version.
She does. She also looks like
She
Jen.
does, yes. They cast her really well.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it. I bought the blood relation between the three of those women. Yeah, so that's super dramatic. And Joey and Bessie are trying to cook something and failing miserably. They're like,
Turkey.
oh, right. Yeah, turkey. I looked like Joey was like covered in flour. Like the stereotypical, I don't know how to cook. What a mess.
Yeah. Well, you gotta flour the turkey, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
If you fry it, maybe?
You put it in the
Listeners,
oven.
I've never ever cooked a turkey, so I don't know how you
I had to do a Thanksgiving once.
Mm.
And I taught myself how to do a turkey. And I think I remember having to do something like
All
that.
right, Mary.
But maybe I'm
You're
wrong.
legit, though. No, I trust that.
Oh, a while ago, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, Bessie forgot to take out the gizzard bag. Wow.
Yeah, forgot the old gizzard bag.
This is a classic rookie error.
Oof.
Oh, God. Yeah, that doesn't seem safe. Like, all that plastic probably melt into the turkey. You gotta go to Grams. You can't eat that.
No.
But they're like kind of reminiscing about their mother, who apparently is like master chef, or was master chef, really good cook. Again, like women be cooking. I'm like, all right, like she has to be a good cook. But you know, they're sad. They miss her. The holidays always bring that out.
Yeah. And they're bad cooks.
Right?
And they're
yeah.
girls.
I mean, the Ice House has not gotten like 5-star Yelp reviews, so
No, never.
the food can't be that great.
No. So then we cut to Gail in Dawson's room. Turns out she's just run into Jen's mom. And this I found kind of weird because I wasn't sure how Gail would know what Jen's mom looks like, even. Because Jen's mom lives in New York.
Did she used to live in Cape Side?
Gail? I guess.
Or Jen's mom?
Jen's mom, I guess she used to live with Grams, but, like, it's not really clear.
Yeah.
And, like, when Jen moves, there's never the sense that Gail is like, oh, I knew Jen's mom way back in the day. Like, no one talks about Jen's mom being in Cape Side. She's, like, more of a mysterious figure.
Yeah, she doesn't really come up often, except for this episode, and it, like, Jen's mom at one point is like, oh, you're Gail's son to Dawson. So it's kind of implied that they know each other from the past, but, like, yeah, it's not really clear how.
Kind of a forced thing.
Right, yeah. Again, the writers just got maybe a little lazy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was shocking that Dawson told his mom about Eve being being the daughter of Jen's mom but not Jen. He's like, I'll tell my mama.
Right. Well, he's a mama's boy. He
Such-
always tells his parents everything first.
Such a mama's boy. Yeah.
He told his parents about Joey's dad first, too.
Yeah, for advice. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he goes to them first.
Oh, Dawson just wants the family
So-
connection. He's not getting it.
He doesn't trust his instincts.
No, he second guesses them left and right. He can't even tune into it. No. And the mom.
Yeah, he didn't spill the beans on the sister.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't tell Jen about it. And I also just wanted to point out that Gail is loving Dawson's new sweater.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, when she walked into his room for that scene, she's like, Dawson, I love your sweater. And she, like, touches it and gets, like, all huggy. And Dawson's like, Mom.
Oh, I missed that completely.
This is a small moment, but it made me laugh. And his sweater looked like every, like, 90s boy's sweater. Like, the two stripes, the different colors, the solid color.
Right.
And it was, like, fall colors, too. Like, brown, orange, white.
Yeah.
It's, like, classic.
Well, it's funny because Jack later has a sweater that I thought was, like, a classic.
The ombre sweater? Yes. Yeah. I liked that sweater. I was like, that looks good.
I liked it, but I was like, it's dated.
I know. Yeah, the boy sweaters. It was like a 90s style.
So Jen naturally feels really betrayed. She's at Gramps' house, but she's down by the lake. She's been down there for half an hour.
You mean the creek.
Or the creek, the body of water. She doesn't want to talk to her mom. She feels like Gramps sprung this on her. And Gramps is like, I didn't know she was coming. I just found out when she showed up at my front door. She's like, apparently your father was going to come, but he got stuck in Europe on business. And Jen's like, that's bullshit. She's like, well, actually, the thing about him getting stuck on business, that's the only believable part. I'm sure she's only here because there's nowhere else for her to go. And Gramps is just like, you're jumping to conclusions. You don't know what her reasons are. And I know one thing, and it's that you are prepared to face the problems of your past now. She sort of gives a speech like, God wouldn't put something in front of you that you're not prepared to tackle.
Classic Grams.
She has faith. Classic Grams. She has faith in Jen that she can move in the right direction. And she even says, like, you and your mom, you're a lot more alike than you know.
Yeah, this was a really moving scene, I thought, in Grams and Jen's relationship. Because Grams basically tells Jen, like, I've been noticing that you've been changing a lot. You've been getting, you've been maturing. You've been getting more mature, more like secure in yourself, more strong. All this good development that she's seeing in Jen. And I liked the one way she put it about how she breaks down what she thinks Jen's going through. She's like, well, maybe you can't find the right words because there's just too much to say. It's like, oh, yeah, that's probably, where do you start? Like, they have a lot of baggage and history.
Right.
And yeah, and then like you were saying, how Jen, Gramps is kind of like, well, I see that you're at like a transom or I don't know, some T word. She's like, you're at something. And Jen's like, well, actually, I think it's more like a crossroads. And then Gramps is like, well, I know that you're going to choose the right way. And you're prepared to talk to your mom. Like, you're ready for this. And whatever path you choose, you'll be going the right direction. But then she's like, but walk toward the house. That's the way you should go. So Gramps is kind of pushing her, but like in a good way. She's like, you've come so far, but I'm going to help you go farther. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a nice moment.
Yeah.
And then we see kind of an awkward encounter. It's Andy, Jack, and Pacey all show up at Grams's at the same time. Turns out Jack and Andy's father, very similar to Jen's father, stuck in Chicago.
Classic dads, man. They're always doing business, getting stuck in traffic.
Yeah. So Andy brought apple pie.
Women making pie. Sorry.
Yeah. Pacey just brought cranberry sauce in a can. And I guess Jack is empty-handed. So there you have it.
Yeah. All the boys are so pumped about the pies. They're like, yes, Pacey, this episode, he's all about Andy's pie and Andy's pie. I was just like, Pacey. Like, even in the first scene, when he's talking with Jen, the way he was asking, like, who else is coming to the dinner? And Jen's like, well, Andy's not coming, if that's what you're thinking. you kind of get the hint that Pacey's maybe thinking about Andy and maybe kind of wants to get back with her, but isn't really sure. Like, there's something going on in his mind with Andy. And then
There's something going on, but I don't buy it. It's weird because he was so adamant in his breakup on the boat.
Yeah, I know it comes really out of left field, and I'm wondering if this is because I believe this show was written by someone else than who wrote the beginning of season 3. At least that's what Becca tweeted at us.
Right.
So I was like, well, maybe it's these new writers wanting to, like, change the direction a bit.
No, but it's all over the place.
It is. No, there's no continuity from, like, what happened before. But Pacey, there's definitely vibes where he's like, oh, I miss Andy. Where before it was like Andy misses Pacey.
Yeah. So he's being super nice to her. He's trying to touch base. And Andy's like, I don't appreciate your niceness. You broke up with me and you have to stick to it.
Also out of
Pacey's
character,
like,
yeah.
Is it though? No, she was kind of like that when they broke up. She remember she was very clear about it. She gave him all of his stuff in a box. She wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah, I guess she just flip flops, so that's probably true. Because I feel like she's trying to get him back. Also, like at that Secrets and Lies episode, it's all over. Well, the heart is fickle. What can we say?
It's true.
But then, yeah, it seems like the tension is too much, so, like, they don't want to stay, and they're trying to figure out who should leave. But Jack is like, no, this is Thanksgiving. You're going to suck it up and both stay for Graham's dinner and be thankful. He's, like, putting his foot down about it. So, they do.
Yep, they all decide to stay, put the past behind them, and get over themselves. So, Jen goes to put some coats down in her room, and she walks in on her mom, putting on her lipstick, getting all dolled up. And it kind of brings Jen back to when she was a little girl, and she would watch her mom in the mirror getting dressed, and, you know, Jen's mom, makes her zip up her dress, and is like, you're such a beautiful woman. It's just, very awkward. It's almost like they're strangers talking to each other. They don't know how to communicate.
Yeah, they kind of are, really. They haven't talked in a year.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then Jen's mom gives her this gift, and, as she's opening it, I was filled with dread. I don't know what I was expecting to find when she opened it, but just the way it was, so ominous in that green velvet pouch. I was like, is there going to be, a bloody knife?
Mary, that did not run through my mind once.
Or, some sort of hate letter. It just felt really... creepy the way she was opening it, and then of course it was pearls. But I was
you have a good imagination. That's
I mean, it could also just be the cough medicine.
Oh, that would have been more interesting.
So yeah, so she's, Jen's mom's like, well, I got this from Graham's when I was your age, and you should have it. And Jen's like, oh, I can't accept it. There's nowhere for me to wear pearls in Cape Side. Maybe if I was still in New York, but I'm not.
Thanks to you,
and
Mom.
her mom's her mom's like, well, save it for a happy occasion. And she's like, oh, well, you know more than anyone that pearls lose their luster if you don't wear them. They're kind of like people in that way. You should keep them close to your skin.
Yeah, that was an intense scene. I was like, damn, Jen.
It was intense,
yeah. She just kept it coming. But that's what I like about Jen. If she's mad at you, she's going to give it to you hard.
Well, you'll know.
You will for sure know, and she'll make you feel like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. Yeah. Then I feel like Jen goes back downstairs, and Dawson and Joey are at Graham's now, and they're in the kitchen together.
Yeah.
And Dawson brings up Jen's mom because he can't help it.
Well, first he asks Graham's if there's anything he can do to help. And Graham says to say a prayer.
Oh my god, that's right.
Just any prayer in general.
Any prayer. That was funny.
A general prayer.
So Graham's.
It was very throwaway, but it was funny enough that I had to write it.
I kind of wish Graham's would be a fun actress or character to play, because her character is so over the top, and she has that silly voice and goofy, but she's at the same time it kind of I buy it all.
Yeah.
It's just great. Oh, man. So, yeah, after their little prayer thing, they start talking about Jen's mom And Dawson's kind of like, oh, your mom's here. How's it going? He's like asking her a bunch of questions. And Jen's kind of like, not great. Like, doesn't really want to talk about it. She does, like, complains a bit about it. And then Joey kind of talks and is like, well, you know, basically saying, like, we're all strangers. She had a good quote. We're all strangers to our parents. They love us, but they don't really know us. And, you know, if you don't get to know them, you might end up without the chance to.
Well, yeah, she goes in with the, my mother's dead again.
Yeah, I know. She has pulled that a few times. But, like, it would suck.
Favorite.
So I'm like, I can't really blame her.
Right.
And that does make Jen feel super guilty. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, Joey. She's like,
Yeah, she immediately apologizes, which, you know.
It doesn't often happen.
No. And when she used to pull it on Dawson, he'd be like, you don't understand. Well, sometimes he would apologize, but still.
Yeah, well, Dawson's more self-centered. It's harder to get him to break.
Right.
Yeah, but...
And Joey's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just give her a chance. You know?
Yeah, and she's like, she came all the way here to see you. Like, you owe her, at least just talk to her. Like, you owe her that much. So it seems like Jen's gonna try to take Joey's advice. And I guess Jen's mom then is out checking out the creek. And I noticed she's wearing the pearls that she was gonna give Jen.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it's like, interesting. She's like, I gotta keep them close to my skin. I don't want them to lose their luster. And then this was hilarious, I thought. Like, Dee saunters up, and he's like, oh, hi, Mrs. Lindley. You know, I dated Jen.
I dated Jen in NYC.
AMA. I did not have sex with her. But I did date her.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird. I was like, she doesn't really need to know this, Dawson. Like, stop bragging about your, like, one-time girlfriend. It just was kind of funny to me. But then he's like, yeah, I really care about her still. We're still really close friends. And that was sweet. But then Dawson just, like, goes right into Eve. And he's like, you know, at first he's like, you know, I don't know if this is appropriate for me to say, so please just, like, let me know if I'm getting out of line. But, you know, I know about Eve. She's looking for you. She wants to meet you. And I didn't tell Jen about this, but I feel like it would be good if she heard it from you. And then the mom's like, you're out of line.
Right.
She has no interest.
But, I mean, he has a good point that Eve could come back and tell Jen.
Eve is a wild card. She could really do anything.
She could do anything. But it's also, like, says a lot about Jen's mom that she has no interest in knowing her other daughter.
Yeah, that's...
You know what I mean? It's like, she's very well off. She could help this girl who's a runaway, but she's like, no,
and she could...
That would mess up my life.
If the problem is, like, really the husband, like, she doesn't want her husband to know that she had a baby from someone else, she could keep it a secret. Like, she's already keeping it a secret. Why not just have a secret connection with her behind your husband's back? Like, her husband sounds like an asshole that she doesn't love anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, the mom has got a lot of issues, though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right. But Dawson's, like, thinking about his own situation. He's like, don't let a secret ruin your family like it did mine.
Dee.
Like, oh, my God, Dawson. Take your sob story somewhere else.
I love it. Dawson's
hilarious.
Endlessly funny to me.
Yeah, he is. He is funny.
You can always rely on him to be goofy.
And then, like, Joey and Andy are watching Jack and Pacey setting the table, and Joey's like, don't worry, Andy, it'll get easier to be in the same room as Pacey. And then Jack says that Andy only hates Pacey every other day, and Pacey's asking if he asks about her, and then Joey's, like, super dramatic, and she's like, Andy, the dark nights will pass.
Oh my God.
And Andy's like, it's unbearable wanting Pacey and thinking about how badly I've hurt him and how badly I got hurt. And
that was a good Andy impression.
Thank
Sounded
you.
like her.
And then Andy wants to know if Pacey ever asks about her, and Joey's like, nah.
I was like, nice, Joey.
I know, it made me laugh. But then she goes into this whole ridiculous speech about it's because Pacey can only communicate in jokes and his feelings about Andy are too precious for him to even speak of. And I'm like, oh
Like,
my
I don't
God.
know about all that. Yeah.
So much drama. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's hot and heavy with that. Ugh.
More drama than C-SPAN over here.
Yeah, that was like sparks flying today.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, Kavanaugh hearings, day 3. Just to keep you up to speed. Not at the time that you'll listen, but the time of recording.
Right. The time we're recording.
So more drama with Jen and her mother. They're all this is like the part that Grams has been like fantasizing about all year when she thinks about Thanksgiving. She's like, oh my God, everyone will be around my table and tell the good Lord what they're thankful for.
It's painful.
Yeah, and Mary, I didn't write everything down, but if you want to go through any of the
didn't.
previous ones, we can. But
I didn't write them down either.
yeah,
Because they were all kind of generic. Like, they made it act like it was a big thing. But
and they're all standing. It is super dramatic.
it's just awkward. And honestly, I've seen 3 things this week where people are standing and giving thanks at Thanksgiving, and I'm just over it.
Actually, yeah, I saw that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, too. They were standing giving thanks.
Yeah, I saw it in a play I saw, and I saw it in Succession, and now I'm seeing it here.
Yeah, it's a trope, writers. At least let your characters sit and drink. They would at least be drinking by this point.
Right.
But anyway, yes, they all kind of say generic stuff that relates to their own personal situations. And then Jen really knocks it out of the park. She extends this like beautiful olive branch to her mom, wants to like mend fences, build bridges, all this stuff. Like, let's heal our relationship, Mom. I'm speaking to you, but I'm doing it in a poetic, gorgeous way. And Grams is like almost going to cry. She's like, this is my dream come true. Until the mom storms off. And Grams is like, turns to go after her, and Jen's like, no, I got it. I'll go. Man. I was like, no, Mom. Like, no. Be better than that. And then, like, Jen catches up with her, and it kind of comes out that, like, it wasn't because of what Jen said that the mom started off, but the mom is basically jealous of Jen's close friendships. She's like, you have such a tight-knit group. This is what I've always been looking for, but I haven't been able to find.
I don't think it's because she's jealous. I thought she said, see, I was right to send you to live here because look what you found. All these great friends.
Yeah, but maybe not jealous, but she wishes she had that. Because she kind of says, like, I'd always been looking for something like that, and I could never find it. And then Jen kind of said, oh, yeah, I mean, they're great, but as great as they are, they're not family. Which, Mary, you know how I feel about family.
Yeah.
So, she's like, Cape Side's good, has been good to me, but it has not by any stretch been easy for me. They're starting to talk about that in a little bit. Well, like for the first time, really, because I hadn't really gotten to it yet. Then we go back to Dawson, and his parents are enjoying some pie together, some pumpkin pie.
Well,
and it looks really sweet, and they're just by themselves eating it, talking. And Dawson's like, oh, can I join you guys? And they're like, yeah, I guess. No, they're like, sure, honey. And this is like what you said before. Like, he wants the label. He's basically like, I'm really fed up with this act. Like, you need to stop pretending you're in a sitcom and that you're friends, that everything's okay. If something's going on between you, I need to know about it. He wants to know it all.
Right. Well, he's basically saying it affects me too, what your status is. Yeah, I don't like this sitcom-y good cheer fakeness. I want answers.
Dawson wants the cold hard truth at all times.
Yeah, and I mean, meanwhile, Jen's getting it, because before this, Jen's mom was like, I wish I had been there for you. I regret that. And she's like, well, you've called me I've spoken to you one time in a year. Like, you could have been there for me. And she's like, there's like a million reasons that I ghosted you, and I'll try to explain why. And basically, it comes out that it just freaks her out that you know, I guess Jen's mom gave birth to Eve and, you know, whatever, gave her up for adoption. And she was afraid that something similar was going to happen to Jen. And I don't know, Jen frames it like she's trying to hide her secret, but I don't see how it would come out if just Jen's sleeping around. Like, that doesn't mean the secret of your other child is going to come out. So that was kind of a pathetic excuse.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she thought, like, if Jen got knocked up, then Jen would have to live with the same thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really get that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, Jen's like, it sounds like you're just afraid of Dad finding out about you.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, that wasn't it. But I'm not prepared to end up alone.
Right.
And, but again, it's like, why would she wind up alone? Because Jen's having sex. Doesn't make sense. So, yeah. Jen basically, like, really lashes out, and she's like, you're pathetic. You're in a loveless marriage. You are numb, and you're grateful for it. You're the most intensely selfish person I've ever known. And it's just kind of brutalist, the rinsing that she gives her mom.
Yeah, again, Jen really, like, twists the knife. It was hardcore.
She goes as hard as she can.
Yeah. It was interesting, too. I think also maybe what the mom is thinking, like, to try... I mean, it's hard to understand because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but if she's thinking... If the husband is really appalled by this behavior and wants to send Jen away, I better look like I'm just as appalled, because even if he doesn't know that she had a child out of wedlock or however the situation played out, if he thinks that she's not as upset as he is, maybe he would look down on her enough to want to leave her. Be like, what kind of a woman are you? Like, I don't know what kind of man this is, but, like, maybe she's just so afraid of that she's like, I just got to send Jen away. Which sucks, but that's the only way I can rationalize it. But yeah, Jen is basically like, Mom, you're the most intensely selfish person I know, and you're afraid to be alone because then you'll have to look at yourself and see what I've known for a long time, that there's nothing there. Ouch. Whew.
Yeah, big time ouch.
Yeah, and Dawson got a big time ouch, too, because he learned... from his parents, that their divorce is final now. So, the nail's in the coffin. Yeah.
And he's telling Joey about it. And it sounds like he got to have a word in with his parents, too. Actually, just kidding. All he did was tell them congratulations.
Oh, D.
Walk away. So, but you know, Dawson, he's being mature about it, at least. He's saying the only homes we ever have anyway are the ones that we make for ourselves. So it's clear that he's sort of, in a way, I'm sure he was preparing himself for this outcome all along. And it's probably a relief just to have it finally be decided.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. At least now it's, like, definite and he can move on, accept it, all that. I think it was driving him crazy, that, like, in between. And then he's basically telling Joey, like... I feel like every once in a while the characters get this intense urge to just let loose and go crazy. So now it's Dawson's turn to have that urge. He's like, Joey, let's have sex. Let's do drugs, all this stuff. And he's like,
well, no. He says, let's do a crazy teenage act out. And she's like, well, what does that mean? And he just says, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So he's not like, let's have sex. He's just like, you know, he's saying that, but in a very safe way.
Oh, I know. Says, I'm just saying, like...
Right. Yeah. And then he's like, no, actually, why don't we just have a nice, long 3-hour conversation?
Yeah, a mind-blowing.
Which is
And
sweet.
that's definitely what they're going to do.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Jen wants sex now, and she's leading Pacey down to the shed because she wants to do the dirty with him. She's like, no emotional foreplay. Stop asking me questions. And he's like, well, yeah, no emotional foreplay means no angry sex brought on by parent drama. And that kind of breaks the spell for Jen. And she tells him exactly what happened with her mom. The abridged version. And Pacey's like, oh, yeah, wake up and smell the sanctimony, Mom. And then he's like, well, you know what you have to realize, Jen, is I kind of went through this with my dad, but it can be liberating when you realize that your parents are even more messed up than you, because you realize it's not worth it to go on despising them for it. And that's like a good moment for the two of them as friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice. That kind of helped Jen more than angry sex, as fun as that could be. She can kind of like diffuse some of that feeling and see that her mom has problems too, and she's just a human, and move on. The mom and Jen talking together, they get even closer. It sounds like, is this the scene where the mom is like by the car ready to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, Mom, you're leaving." Yeah. And basically she kind of admits, like, yes, my relationship is terrible with my husband. And she gives Jen the advice not to marry a cold man. And that just like sent chills down my spine. I was like, lady, just leave him. Like, it will get better.
Yeah. But it's interesting seeing the parallel between Gail and Jen's mom, because Jen's mom is terrified that if she divorces him, then her whole social life will disappear, and she, in turn, will disappear from society. But with Gail, she was kind of fearless in that regard. She has a life outside of the marriage. She has her career. She has, she's vivacious. She's not afraid of having that red D on her chest.
Yeah, and she still gets like the prime table at Entree Nous, even as a divorcee. Mm-hmm. So, that's true. The mom really values her. That seems so antiquated, but she does value like, oh, my social engagements and contacts. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they live in a different world. Although they live in New York, I'm like, they're more open-minded in New York. But she's probably like Upper East Side New York. That's stuffy and she's not in the Village.
She's in high society where you're going to be judged and ostracized. And
man, why would anyone want to be rich? That's all I'm saying.
That doesn't sound like you.
Oh, I don't know. That's like that brand of rich person that's just like obsessed with their status.
Bougie.
Yeah. It'll come back to bite you.
Yeah. Well, Jen's like, well, it's nice because now I realize that you didn't hate me, you just hated yourself.
Again, ouch.
Another harsh truth.
Yeah.
But Jen's mom, she didn't take it doesn't hurt her. She's just like, well, you know what? I'm relieved because now I see that you're much too strong to turn out like I did. So,
Yeah. It's somehow a happy ending, even though there's a lot of shots fired. And they're going to call. The mom's going to call Jen. And Jen, gave a genuine smile.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But she said she'd call. Heard that one before.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was also nice to see, the three of them, the Grahams, the mom, and Jen all together. It kind of made me want to be a grandma. I was like, it would be cool to have that perspective on, a daughter and then a granddaughter and to, watch them interact. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be weird, probably.
I know. It would be, I don't know. It'd be an interesting experience. Maybe someday.
And then Pacey comes by on his bicycle. Comes right up to Jen. She's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, yeah, I was ready to go to my parents' house, and I realized, why walk into a family that thinks I'm weird when I can hang out with my friends who think I'm weird? So he comes back to the friend Thanksgiving, and Jen thanks him, and he's like, well, what are you thanking me for? And she's like, for conduct above and beyond. It was very cute. Mm-hmm. She's glad, thanks for not having sex with me and for talking to me instead.
Yeah, take advantage and, yeah.
Right. And then they go down to the campfire where all their friends are hanging out, and Pacey sits right next to Andy. And Dawson, of course, can't help but state how nice it is that they're all in the same place at the same time. Seems like every 4 or 5 episodes they talk about how nice that is.
They love their friendship. Aww.
But they're not even, most of them aren't even really friends.
I know.
And then Joey's like, oh, I'm sure we'll find a way to be estranged again in no time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dawson makes it super awkward, and he's like,
such a quote.
well, in a world where your parents are always letting you down, it's an honor and a privilege to have you guys to turn to. Everyone's like, okay, way too
like
serious
crickets,
for the moment. Yeah. So, the gang's back together again for now.
For now. Yeah, I just liked how the theme of the episode seemed to be questioning the family bond and the friend bond. And Dawson is, originally during his Graham's What Are You Thankful For thing was like, well, it's really nice when your friends and your family are one and the same. Right. But that's not always the case. So, your friends aren't your family, but they're still very, very important. So it was kind of I felt thankful after watching this episode.
It was definitely uplifting.
Yeah, and Dawson's going to get his Oscar, Joey's little quip from that tearjerker speech. Oh, did you shed any tears, Mary?
No. Did you?
No, I didn't.
No.
Not too emotional this week.
That didn't feel necessary.
Well, how about your dares? Did you say any of your dares last week?
Well, it's interesting. I kind of did. So I was out at drinks with a group of people the other day. There's someone I didn't know there who was like a little bit drunk and talking very earnestly about their situation and just like their career, and talking very much about how they felt like things were happening in their career that maybe they didn't deserve or didn't work hard enough for. And they kind of like wouldn't shut up about it, and I was trying to change the conversation a bit. So I was like, well, what did I say? I said, don't base your life on someone else's. So the quote I was supposed to say is, don't base your love life on someone else's. But I just took out the word love and said, don't base your life. So it's close.
That's very close. But a crucial part of it is different.
But they weren't talking about love. Yeah. No one was talking to me about
You couldn't say love. They would look at you like, what is she talking about?
No, because they were talking about music.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no, I see.
So,
yeah.
I think I should at least get a half
I knew you were going to say that.
No, but it's true.
I'll give you a half point.
It's a long quote, and I said pretty much the same sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not buying it. Rude.
No, I'll accept it. That's good. I mean, you did better than I did. I did not say my quotes this week.
Oh, well then why are you being so stingy with me?
Just for fun.
Rude.
I know, Mare. No, and I had like a very easy one. And this week especially I could have said it. Because it was the present sucks.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, I could have said it literally
many times.
Every day of the week.
Yeah, weird.
Probably until 2020, hopefully. Maybe sooner, who knows. But no, I didn't say them. So maybe this week, listeners, I'm going to try my hardest.
Maybe. So I have a few options for you here. You can say, foreplay is no laughing matter.
I like that.
You can say, I think, wake up and smell the sanctimony.
Oh, I like that one too. Yeah.
Or you can, I don't know if that one's too easy.
Oh, Mary, they're never too easy.
Alright, well, this is a really, really, really easy one. You can look someone in the eye and say congratulations.
Oh, just look at them and say congratulations?
In the eye. You have to be kind of staring them down.
Oh, dear. Alright, I'm going to try that.
Good luck.
Good luck. Oh, Mary, let me see what I'm going to make you say this week. How about this one? This will be a flirty one, maybe. You should keep them close to your skin.
Ew, creepy. Very creepy out of context.
It will be creepy. I'm curious to see how you're going to use it.
I don't think I'm going to use it.
Well, you might not. Let's see. You could also say the dark nights will pass.
Oh,
That could be a nice dramatic one.
Right.
Or you could say, file this under things I wish I never knew. Which I believe
When did that one come
Jen
up?
said to Pacey when they were talking about the angry sex moment. Talking about the mom. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. All right, cool. Sounds good.
Yay. All right, listeners. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode. And if you like what you hear, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. That'll help us get more listeners. Especially if you leave a 5-star review and a really nice comment.
Never heard.
No, it's awesome. We really appreciate that also. Also, if you want to connect with us on Twitter, we'd love to tweet with you. Don't be shy. Our hashtag is at Dawson Cries, WAH Dawson Cries. We try to respond, and we like to use like funny GIFs and stuff. So if you're into that, just send us a tweet. All right. Well, we'll catch you next week, and try to stay sane in the meantime.
Yeah.
All right.
Tweet at us if you need a break from life.
Definitely.
All right. Bye, listeners.
Bye.